Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we're going to be checking out some music from an act named Hunter Mayberry. And if we switch over to here, I just want to preface this before we get into it. Apparently my understanding of what Hunter Mayberry's deal is with this track, If I Were Him, is they're a lyricist. So they basically find people to sort of sing and play the music, and Hunter gives them direction and stuff like that. But basically, these are songs that are based off of his lyrics. So this is kind of cool. I'm kind of looking forward to it. We're going to listen through this track from start till finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go. Interesting piano line off the bat, man. Okay. I like it. It's very pretty and calming, isn't it?
I bet he's fast asleep and he's not even thinking about that dream you have beside him and not sleeping. There's nowhere left to go believing. And
I think that, like, if you can write lyrics and then find a singer who can sing it incredibly well, and then find sort of instrumentalists who can perform it incredibly well, that's actually like a winning formula.
his mind's not twisting as the covers turn. His heart
Phenomenal
ain't
vibrato.
pounding. Girl, it's my concern.
Yeah, really incredible vocalist, eh? No, fantastic job. Really selling it from an emotional perspective as well as just an actual just vocal performance. Like, really comfortable within their chest voice. You know, the vibratos are fantastic.
I'd be the place you turn. You never have to hurt. There's nothing I won't give. I know you see. I'm made not to give in. I'd worry about me, girl. If I were him.
Nice use of the extra bar here, or was there an extra bar and we're simply floating back into verse 2?
I were him.
That's a refrain there. Okay, cool.
Oh, girl. I bet you've had to think if there's some hidden meaning to why you run to me. Your heart broke all to pieces. Do you think it's easier to hurt and stay, or leave behind what you know won't change? Yeah.
Oh, that section there was very, very flashy. There's some talent there with those pipes.
Maybe we're the different pace. Maybe we're the different space that you've been needing. If I were him, I'd be the place you turn. You never have to hurt. There's nothing I won't give. I know you see.
Is there a bass guitar there, or is the piano simply filling in the bass section with the left hand? I'm liking the little sub-layer of strings there, add a little bit of emotional weight to it.
I'm made not to give in. I'd worry about me, girl, if I were him.
I'd worry about me if I were him. Damn, dude.
Can't play what you don't bet. Those dice won't roll themselves. I've gotta tell you how I feel. I've got to go all in. Sometimes you risk it all.
Ooh, that vocal fry was phenomenal,
Where
dude.
they may, the cards will fall.
Great little bit of extra angst and you know?
It's your call. Whoa, if I were him, I'd be the place you turn. You never have to hurt. There's nothing I won't give. I know you see. I'm made not to give in. I'd worry about me, girl. If I were him.
Great finish here. Nice way to bring it down. Lots of love for that, eh? Smart choice here from Hunter Mayberry, If I Were Him. Because this is the conclusion of my review of this track with the lyrics by Hunter Mayberry. Track is If I Were Him. What do I think this song is about? I think it's about someone who has realized that their love interest, their affection, is involved with someone who has maybe not taken the best care of them or isn't maybe doing their relationship justice. And Hunter is saying, hey, I'd be worried if I were him. I can be way better than they can, you know. I adore it. I think that this story is something that a lot of people sort of think about, you know, like why is that person with that other one, you know? Why is life like this, you know? I think that's there's a beauty to that in the sense that you know, when I hear musicians go when I hear people just be really honest about how they feel within a track, you kind of can tell that maybe Hunter's gone through this in their life and they're trying to sort of like come to terms with that feeling there and sort of experience it in their own way. And I think that it was sold incredibly well by the singer. Again, I'm not sure who the singer is, but they sang the lyrics incredibly well. And I adore the work that they've done on this track. It's very professional, you know, very proficient. I do hope that Hunter can work more with them in future, as I think that they are a valuable compatriot to have around the studio, around the mic, you know. Phenomenal hidden chest voice there, effortless vibratos, really great, compelling little melodies there, occasional real nice little bit of ornamentation there with the, you know, that kind of stuff there. But it was occasional. It made me feel as if the singer understood that they were not there to show off. They were there to help sell the lyrics and help tell the song. I mean, figuratively, you know. I think that it was a passionate performance, and maybe the singer had been through something like this too, and they could sort of synergize on that. And I don't think there was a single fault with the vocal. It's one of the best vocal performances I've heard all week, put it that way. The motif that was sung over that was fairly straightforward with the choice of like the piano and the drums and like those subtle strings on the side. I'm not sure if we could have necessarily added more to this to improve it. I think that the way that it was more than enough. I think that if you'd oversaturated it with different instruments, it would have taken away from the power of the vocals or the presence of those. And in addition to that, I think that just the verse chorus structure here with the drums coming in later on, it was enough development to keep us going there. The vocals were so compelling and they developed and did different things along the way. And with that being the focal point, you don't necessarily need to have an extraordinary amount of instrumental kind of variety anyways, unless it's like a longer track than this. But then of course I think we understood that the track should be 3.5 minutes simply for the sake of keeping the listener's attention and stuff like that, because listeners, you know, people have short attention spans. If you don't knock them dead in the first 30 seconds, you're kind of screwed. But I think that Hunter Mayberry is onto something special here with If I Were Him. The instrument performance on piano itself, alongside the strings and the drums, alongside the vocals, everything had great chemistry and cohesion to it. And ultimately, I don't think they needed to change a single thing. It's a single. It reminds me a lot of like singles in like late 90s, early 2000s. That kind of ballad-esque kind of format. It'd be cool to see if Hunter finds ways to incorporate more within it. From like an arrangement perspective, or who they work with in future to kind of continue to build that up and make it sort of more sort of, yeah, I mean, again, that kind of contradicts what I said about not needing to add more instruments, doesn't it? But it'd be cool to see what they do next. But yeah, nice little broken chord arpeggios going on with those piano parts. Again, the drums had a nice sort of 8th note groove there. And yeah, the strings held those notes for the holes on the whole. And nothing needed to be adjusted. The production, recording, mixing, and mastering was fantastic. The vocal takes were incredibly professional, nice and crisp. Great compression there and effects change as well. You know, very, very meaningful performance there on top of the rest of the instruments, which were nicely filtered and EQ'd and sort of presented to the listener. Everything had our own sort of home in the stereo field, our own little niche. And in the frequency spectrum, there weren't any sort of weird resonances or anything like that. You know, everything was nice and leveled in the mix as well. You know, I think part of that comes down to a lack of overcomplication to the arrangement, the instrumental parts. But I think just before I get the motif itself, the actual music itself sounded kind of sad, but also like hopeful, if that makes sense. It's like we were aware that we're good enough for this person, but we're just waiting for them to realize that we are at that level. That's what I got from the motif. I usually talk about that a bit earlier, but I've just realized that's how I actually feel about the music behind the vocals. And I suppose to top it off, it was nice and loud without pumping, fantastic dynamic range and nice little adjustments and perceived loudness. But effectively, this is incredibly strong first impression to what Hunter Mayberry is all about, and I'm very happy I got the chance to listen to it. And thank you very much for watching my review of Hunter Mayberry's If I Were Him. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go check out Hunter Mayberry's various social medias and his Spotify page. Stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as you get to help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I will catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.